Good morning, bam, we're live. Good to see everyone. Brian, good morning. Christine, Joseph Ramirez. Fun day yesterday. Had Fronin on the podcast. He released a podcast. If you didn't see the Battle Rapper podcast, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. I realize most of you come here to hear CrossFit shit, but boy, that guy was really cool. I think there was a lot of stuff to glean off of that podcast. All right. If Mayhem breaks away, would Greg participate in their company as a board member? Oh, interesting. It's gonna be interesting one. Um, it's gonna be interesting how these next few months fold out. That's for sure. Good morning, Brian. Just ordered 2 of the new Pukey shirts, Chase modeled. Boards are stupid. Fair enough. I watched a great video on the rise and fall of Peloton this morning. Can't wait to get Greg's take on it. Man, what a wild ride they had through COVID. Some of the companies that flourished in COVID, I never thought about that. How they managed that growth, that huge spike, and then the decline of it. Peloton had a massive growth. Massive growth. Have I during COVID? Have I ever thought about having Kale on? Yeah, I invited Kale on many times. I'd love to have Kale on. Flat earthers, Kale, Jew haters, libtards, they're all welcome. Everyone's welcome. Cracker Barrels I don't think we have Cracker Barrels on the West Coast. Cracker Barrel, California. I don't think we have, oh, there are Cracker Barrels in California. I guess they just don't. I guess I'm not Cracker Barrel conscious. I don't know. I never see them. It doesn't look like there's a lot. It looks like, where's this one? This is the closest one to my house. Oh, Ventura. Yeah, there's nothing close to my house. Ventura is probably 300 miles from my house, 250 miles. Bakersfield has one. I don't even know what it is. Is it a restaurant gas station thing? Is that what that is? Rich promised me $10 yesterday. Can you give him my Venmo? No. Ever thought about having an average Joe on? Everyone I have on is an average Joe. Aren't they? Average Joes all the time. Oh, old-fashioned home cooking restaurant. Okay. By the way, I am excited for the next Glinton Things podcast. I went to their YouTube page today. In 28 hours, probably now it's 27. I looked at it an hour ago. They're going to have Facundo on, and it will be great to hear his angle on the sale of the company. Because as Rich said, Facundo and he met Malik through Facundo, so it'll be great to hear what insights Facundo has on the sale, and that's probably that's in 27 hours. So head on over to the Glinton Things podcast and click on that. That's going to be a good one. That might be the most insightful podcast regarding the sale that we've seen in a long time, or up to date. So Facundo has a good relationship with Malik. They're buds. I see them a lot together. But my introduction to Malik was through Facundo, so I'm sure Facundo will have some great insights. He's always willing to share a lot. Extremely articulate. So that should be a fun one. And that's it. Show's done. Until Greg gets here. News has been fun. I'm a little behind on my what are they called? Current events. but I've been trying to catch up. I spent the, weekend at jiu-jitsu tournament with the kids, or at least Saturday. Sunday, we spent just hanging around the house, playing ping pong, licking our wounds. That shit can be pretty emotional. I noticed my 8-year-old, he had all his matches on, I don't know, probably had 12 matches on Saturday, and the last 2 days, he's been, totally different, more emotionally volatile, sensitive, very sensitive. I wonder if there's some, like, yeah, chemistry or something that happened there. Like some massive, I don't know what the chemicals are endorphins, some sort of rush, and there's some sort of come down from it, but he's been very, very emotional, very, like, quick to cry. Not like bad behaving or anything, but just, like, quick to cry, like, if he loses in ping pong or something, he would cry, or after tennis class, he just seemed a little down. It was weird instead of high. The trip. I was also thinking, I remember I had Devin Lorette on one time, and he told me that and Devin was in the special forces in Canada for many, many, many years. And he told me that the deployments and just the carrying the guns in your hand and the situations they were in, he thought gave him some sort of, and I'm paraphrasing, some sort of, uh, I don't know, uh, response, physiological response that made it so, my words, not his, that he put on more muscle or became more fit, that there was something about the intensity of those situations that the body rose to that made him bigger, faster, stronger. And I was wondering about that too. I wonder if these tournaments, when you put these kids in these situations, because basically you're taking your kid on a Saturday to fight other kids, and they're fighting, and if your kid doesn't tap, his arm's going to get broken. I mean, they get into some nasty, nasty situations, and there's kids around your kids' necks trying to choke them out and trying to put them to sleep. And if you don't tap, I mean, it's closer to life or death situation than probably 99% of the American public's been in. I wonder if they have some physiological response like that. I wonder if you were to look at those kids, if somehow they have the ability, after putting them in situations like that, that there's some sort of hormonal response that makes it so they get stronger, faster, bigger, more buff faster. There was a study released that shows how high your dopamine, happy hormone, directly affects how you feel when you're sad. So the more even keeled you are, the less propensity you have for really low points. Yeah, that makes sense. My son definitely has a next day lull after his BJJ tournaments. Yeah. I don't notice it in my I don't notice it in my 2 other boys, but definitely now I'm seeing a pattern in Ari for sure after tournaments. I've got and he is definitely by far the most emotional kid. Um, and he's the most affectionate. He has the highest highs and the biggest lows, and he gets the most excited, and he's also able to turn it on. He like no other kid. Like when he walks out there, he's like ready to go. Yeah, he goes full to tilt. There's no warm up or feeling out his opponent. It's just like 3, 2, 1, destroy. I've got a powerlifting meet next week, and I'm waiting for the come down afterward. That's cool. I have a lull after BJJ too. That's interesting. The fight or flight or freeze mode that people go into also causes a huge adrenaline dump, which drains the body of short term energy. Yeah, extremely tired. He gets extremely tired the days after. It's cool. My kids put themselves to sleep. Isn't that like, and by put themselves to sleep, I don't mean they actually put themselves to sleep. Oh, can you send another link? Sure. What they do, it's just, and I was like this as a kid, but my sister wasn't so much like this. But like when they get tired, they'll just be like, okay, I'm going to bed. So last night, I didn't even want to go to bed, but my son Joseph's like, hey, I'm going to bed. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to bed too. Uh, Let me see. Where's my it happens to me after the CrossFit Games. I get the highest high hanging with my homies for 3 days, and Monday I go to baseline and I'm just exhausted and it feels like a low. Well, I will tell you, all the human interaction at the games is wild. It is, it is, it is. It is wild. Miss Latimer, who competed, took 5th. Congratulations, Jamie. I've been very tired and emotional too. I don't like it. The trippy part about being 8 is I think that they have no perspective on emotion, right? Because some of them I suspect are the first time he's ever feeling them, and it feels so real to them. It feels so real. They don't have a lot of practice. They have zero practice dealing with it, so they feel something or react to something, and then there's no tools for how to deal with it. My kids do have good breathing practices. I see them using the breathing practices their moms taught them over the years. But still, it's almost like I think there was a movie like that, or some Disney movie where it personifies the emotions and shows them bubbling up in people. Let's see if this is a insurance call. Hey, good morning.
Oh,
Hey, good morning.
I do not sell insurance.
Oh, good.
Sorry to disappoint.
No.
Or you're welcome. I don't know. Good morning, Saban.
Hey, good morning.
I've got a couple things. One on this is Dale.
Hi, Dale.
From Virginia.
Hey, Dale. Hold
Hello,
on one
good
second,
morning.
Dale. Give me 1 second. Hey, Greg. Good morning.
Oh, hey, Greg.
What up?
Hi. We already have a caller. Okay. Your hair looks good. Dang. Very professional. Were you in a board meeting?
Yeah, that's it.
Good
It's
morning.
a meeting where you're bored, right?
Go ahead, Dale.
Okay, Saban. Hello, Greg. Two things actually. One, my kids are the same age as your kids. I have a 9 and 7-year-old boys, and I think you're going to tell me that to shut up and I'll make the decisions. That's what you're going to say. But I think you would, a lot of people would get a value from you if you had even more specific parenting content, maybe like a once a month or once a week show focused on parenting. I think maybe my favorite episode over all the years I've been listening is whenever Travis is on Vagent, and you guys get into real deep into parenting stuff. And I think there would be a lot of people interested in hearing even more of that.
All right, I'll get them on.
And speaking of the Vagents, I wanted to talk about Tyson for just a second. Is he coming on soon? Do you have anything scheduled with him?
I suspect. I've been chatting with him quite a bit, and I suspect he's coming on any day now.
Okay, because I remember, Savan, when you first had Tyson on when he was in college. I think it was his junior year, and I'm a huge NFL fan. I've been watching the NFL my life for 40 years, and you had a Division II college quarterback on, and I know that you're not a lifelong NFL watcher as I am, but you were touting him as the greatest quarterback in the country, which stats wise he was comparable to the top college quarterbacks at the time. But I know watching the NFL that it is so unlikely for any quarterback, even at Ohio State or Notre Dame or whatever, to make the NFL, that a kid from Shepherd, Division II in West Virginia, to even have a chance, a cup of coffee at the NFL level was almost impossible. So when he ended up making the Bears roster 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, and now signed the extension last week, I think it's actually an under discussed story how unlikely it is that not only a Division II kid has made it to this point in the NFL, but now it is someone that you and Travis and Tyson himself basically forecasted this. It's like so unlikely. It's almost as if like Colton saying, I'm going to win the games, and then he does it. It just seems so unlikely. He was the Harlan Hill Trophy winner, the Heisman winner for Division II, but I looked up all the Heisman winners for Division II for the last 15 years, and he's the only one to make the NFL on any roster. There's a bunch of guys' names I've never heard before that were also the best player in Division II. In 2023, when Tyson was signed as an undrafted free agent for the Bears, there were 14 quarterbacks drafted before Tyson Some of them are not even in the NFL anymore, and they're all from Alabama, Ohio State, Florida, Tennessee, etc. The biggest college programs in the country. It's crazy. It's so unlikely. What a story.
Yeah, look, here's the part a lot of people are missing. There's an unprecedented opportunity for athletic development through your fitness training in your youth. And it's an opportunity that very few players in the NFL were ever afforded. Very few. Then if you find success in college, you're likely again going to see anywhere near optimal opportunity for development. And I'm not talking about skill. I'm talking about just as an athlete in the broadest sense possible. Then when you get into the pros, it's likely to recede even further into the away from you.
And Tyson talks about that. He says his fitness.
And it's obvious. It's obvious. At the same talent, a kid that's CrossFitting at 10 years old and CrossFit. Oh, and the other thing is it's not understood. When your first round draft pick is 5 to 10 years away from his athletic prime. And so what do you do with them? The answer is nothing. That's what happens. Nothing. Some get lucky. Some end up in the hands of people we know. But don't forget that Joe Westerlin and Michael Rutherford, Ruttman, and Stefan Roche and Josh Everett, those guys all came out of D1 strength and conditioning gyms where football players were being done what? Fed nonsense. Fed absolute nonsense. What the most significant aspect of Pop Warner, college, and the pros is the lack of attention on athletic potential. That's the most amazing part. So what happens when CrossFit trainers go down to the WME-IMG Academy? They set every record that's been established by who? The likes of who? Men and women. Remember that, Sadie?
Yeah. Yep.
At will. Like, what's this test? Oh, look. Oh, a new record. New WME-IMG Academy record previously held by 11-figure ball sport Miracle Man. And my point's even greater. Well, he was 18 at the time. Yeah, he was about to skip college and go to the pros, fundamentally. No, it's we haven't advanced in football beyond where we were in MMA when I said that most of the guys the way they're training is far from optimized. Within 5 years, everyone was saying I was wrong. They had rings and rowers and doing Fight Gone Bad, and I was an asshole still, but I was happy they were doing something that made sense.
I don't know if it's as vital in football it is in MMA, but all of the really, really good champions, all of the best ones today, at the end of the day, it all comes down to their metabolic training, I feel like. At the end of the day, it's the guy who can fight the 5-round fight. I mean, obviously, they have to have the MMA skills, but even this guy, Alex Pereira, the Brazilian, wonder guy, at the end of the day, what ends up caused him his demise is a Russian with better conditioning. Better physical, just GPP.
What was the goal of Fight Gone Bad?
To replicate what it would feel like for BJ Penn to be in the ring for 5 rounds.
No, to exceed the metabolic demands and costs of almost any fight. Force distance in time. In the same time domain, you want to see more physics. You want to see larger loads moved longer and faster, then apply skill to that, and you got a winner. Happy birthday, sweetheart.
Hey, Dale, I want to throw this out there, too. While people were telling, everyone in Travis's circle was telling him to get a day job and to make sure that he was working to get insurance and money for his family, Travis was completely committed to raising his child. So he was working late nights at strip clubs to make money, and then all day he was raising his kid. And although some people might have seen him as a helicopter kid because he went to every high school and every college practice, he also gives his kid a lot of space. He's not the kind of guy to tell his kid what to do, but he stayed in his child's life. And I think that in a lot of that, and then obviously Travis owned a CrossFit gym, and found CrossFit through meeting Greg. And so, there's obviously that component too.
I think, Sivan, I think that what Greg is saying, or what I'm interpreting what Greg is saying, and what gives Tyson the benefits that he has of coming up a less conventional path and through the gym and going through CrossFit training is and not going to the Ohio State, Notre Dame, or Alabama for college is also the reason why it makes him, or made this more of an underdog or less likely outcome of him getting to this second contract, where the NFL is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they don't want they're so trained. That's why Tyson wasn't drafted. They wanted to draft the kids from Alabama and Auburn and Clemson, Florida, and didn't want to chance it. They want the 5-star kid that was the best kid in Florida, and who went to University of Florida for college and was the 5-star recruit and won accolades in the highest level Division I college, and then they'll take versus taking a chance because just the money is so astronomical in the NFL.
It would be almost impossible to develop the talent and hide it from the NFL. And so it's not too hard to figure out what they're looking for. What's hard to reconcile is there's current interpretations of that, like what's happening in the strength and conditioning program at name your school. That's the part that's kind of hard to reconcile. Now, in Tyson's case, Travis's belief and encouragement extends far beyond all of that. He saw this outcome, and his total vision, and he had it when the kid was 3 years old. He was introducing him as an NFL great quarterback in the fucking larval stage. And it was like everyone, okay. And no one should doubt for a second that Travis wasn't seeing it. And what he sees is we're not even halfway there yet. He thinks he's seeing the young man as one of the greatest quarterbacks of our era. Now, how old is he?
24, 25.
Yeah, we're still 5 to 7 years away from knowing what he's going to be. He's just a puppy still in terms of the development of a man, mentally and physically.
Dale, what do you think now about him? I know it was an unbelievable story, to believe when he was Division II, but after his last game against Kansas and what we've seen him do and step up and the stuff people are saying about how comfortable he feels on the field, are your thoughts about him changing?
I have been a Tyson fan since he was in college and he came on your podcast 5 years ago.
So you'd been rooting for him.
I think I'm rooting for him, yes. And I see, when he was 9, Travis didn't know that he was going to grow to be 6'4", right? He could have hoped, and if he ended up growing to be 5'10", he probably wouldn't be in the situation he is in now. But he's 6'4", he can throw the ball 50, 60 yards. He's got the mental makeup. He certainly does everything, if not more. He's not going to be outworked, that's for sure, from anyone else in the quarterback room, from Caleb on down. But he certainly has an uphill battle. There's 32 teams in the NFL, 32 starting. There's only one quarterback that plays per game. He's the only Division II. I'll say it again. He's the only Division II quarterback on any NFL roster right now, out of all the teams and all the quarterbacks on every roster. So he still has a bit of an uphill battle. I think he'll need to find. I don't see the Bears giving up on Caleb Williams because he's the number 1 pick, played at USC, was like people when he was coming out of college, even 2 years before he came out of college, the people were trying to, every team in the NFL saw him as like the next great quarterback prospect. So I think he has a long leash. It'll be tough for Tyson to have an opportunity. Now, quarterbacks get hurt. If Caleb gets hurt and Tyson comes in and does what I think we all think he can do again with another couple of years. He had a couple of games that he started 2 years ago. I know you guys went to 1 or 2 of them. I think with another few years now under his belt, he will perform well and maybe he'll get a shot at a starting job on a different team next year. I think that Caleb, unless he completely blows up this season, even if he has a mediocre year, the Bears will keep him as a starter next year. And if Tyson wants to start, he'll have to go to a different team.
You don't think the 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and the touchdown with 7 seconds left in the game to win the game throws a huge wrench in it?
I realistically no.
Okay.
It's a preseason game. He's playing against backups. It's great. It was awesome. He's showing all he needs to show, and that's why he got paid, right? Probably partially based on that type of performance.
Let me ask you this really quick. Let me play this clip for you. This is, I think the guy's name is Ryan Clark or something. This is from ESPN yesterday. This seemed absolutely insane to me, what this guy says. Listen to this. Listen to what this guy says.
What's on the line for him this season?
He asked, what's on the line for Caleb Williams this season? That was the question to the expert.
Caleb Williams doesn't play well. He's going to get the Anthony Richardson treatment.
Really? Okay.
Next year, they're going to bring someone in to compete with Caleb Williams for the starting job.
What does that mean? They're going to bring someone in to compete with Caleb. Isn't Tyson competing with him right now?
If you're in the building in Chicago, if you're a player, a teammate of Tyson's on the Bears, you know that Tyson is a great option. Should something happen to Caleb and Tyson needs to step in. Any outside, and I follow the NFL as much as anything, or as much as anyone. National NFL media does not see a Division II kid from Shepherd as a threat to the Heisman winner from USC, #1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. They don't see that. Maybe if he gets an opportunity to start a couple games this year, like I said, and due to injury for Caleb, and can put some pressure on the Bears to give him the spot next year, perhaps. But the national media, especially like ESPN guys, they're not going to be in the weeds with the Bears to know how legit Tyson is.
I've got a question for you. What in your opinion makes the crystal ball for experts, guys like yourself, what makes it so shitty in terms of quarterbacks? Because one of the things we can assume about quarterbacks is what everyone's saying. 5 years later, you're going to say it's wrong. That's what we know. How often is the story of someone coming from a lower draft pick ending up a superstar?
You're telling me this guy Ryan Clark doesn't know who Tyson is?
He knows who he is. He doesn't think of him as like the guy, right? That the people that are national NFL people, they follow the big time college programs, so they know the big time college quarterbacks coming out of college and going into the NFL, and they see them and they're Greg. There's not every top NFL quarterback pick makes it. There's the NFL history is littered with busts, first round busts. 5 quarterbacks get drafted in the first round almost every single year, and only 2 or 3 make it, and 2 or 3 don't. All 5 of them were from the top college programs in the country. But there are no other. There's really no example like Tyson, a Division II quarterback that does come in. Not in the last 40 years in the NFL. He would be the exception to the rule. I think he can do it. There are smaller school quarterbacks, Tony Romo, Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco. Tony Romo used to play for the Cowboys. They played for smaller Division I programs, but they were still Division I quarterbacks.
El Padrino, 69. The only QB from the 2022 draft still playing is the final QB selected, Brock Purdy. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
he went to Iowa State, Division I.
And it's just that Tyson's such an outlier. Most touchdowns ever in college football history, something like that. Most yards passed. He's always been a winner.
I want to ask this again. Why is it that the topic we're on is dominated by surprises? When is the thinking going to change a little?
Mm-hmm. I think it's the money. That'd be my guess. They want the NFL and people, not just the money, but the NFL GMs, the general managers, the coaches. They're looking for their own self-interest, and they want if you pull in a kid from Shepherd, and I'm just talking. Obviously, I know Tyson now. I've been aware of him for a few years now, but talking as like a national NFL person, I'm no NFL expert. I've just been following the NFL for 40 years. The risk of saying, like, let's take this kid from Shepherd University who's a backup for the Bears, for 3 years and make him our starter, that comes with a high risk, high reward, right? The risk is if he doesn't turn out the way you want him, then your job is on the line as the coach or general manager that brought him in. Versus if you get the kid from Alabama and he doesn't work out, well, everyone wanted the kid from Alabama. So if it doesn't work out, we'll give you another shot. You can keep your job.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thank you,
Bye.
Greg, for all your work.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
Greg, I remember, I think it was Spieler who told me this, that, and I think that there's a relationship between what you were saying about doing CrossFit as a kid and starting to develop as a kid, and what Spieler said. Spieler said, as you get older, you have less and less time to work on new skills also because your recovery is worse and worse. And so there becomes a point where if you're trying to learn double unders at 35, it's not like learning them at 14, because at 14 you can spend time learning double unders and still work out and still get the recovery. Whereas at 35, you practice double unders and that becomes your training as opposed to just some accessory work. Is that also what you're kind of saying? Like that there's an opportunity for development just based on the physiology at a younger age that just isn't there as you get older. I know that's not specifically what you're saying, but I think that's a related to it. Like you can teach an 8-year-old overhead squats in the beginning of every single workout, whereas, you get someone who's 40 and it's like, hey, that could be their session.
I think if you were to follow the strength and conditioning effort of the best in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
from childhood to, I don't care whatever's down the road, Hall of Fame, it would, in my eyes, be marked more by missed opportunity than brilliance.
Yeah. Okay. Well said.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, what do you do with that? Someone has to know and care. I know, but don't care. But I know it to be true. And I know quarterback, I know football legends that have come to see this too. Dave has coach legend friends that know it. I go over to Gaza across the lake, and there's NFL talent there that understands. But not everyone's in a position to make the kind of changes, I know the vendor for a lot of gear in the NFL and D1 weight rooms, and I have ready access to programming. And don't forget, I'm new Rutman and Roche, and look, what are these schools? We're talking about Notre Dame, UCLA, University of Kansas, Nebraska. I mean, these aren't typical programs. These are the best. The best. And what happened? There was an exodus. Where they came to CrossFit. Was that a successful revolution? Maybe for Josh, he's now training SEALs, not. And
it was successful for Tyson.
It was successful. It was successful for the Navy. It was successful for Delta Force.
So
what's cool is being around and watching a guy get 1, 2, 3, 4 stars, retired, working in the private sector, hanging out with Ben, dropping notes, saying hi. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's a test. That's a test of concept. Watch a soldier for 20 years. The highest ranking men in uniform have now for almost a decade been CrossFitters. Which brings me to the Pete and Bobby challenge.
Let me just ask you this really quick. So you're a huge proponent of introducing CrossFit to kids at a young age.
Only if you want to optimize their development. And I tell you what, it's more critical for women than men in the sense of the lost opportunity that women are less likely even to get it. And so in the competitive space, it's what Scotty and Gumby said about CrossFit from on the mat. It's like cheating. Makes a bigger difference than steroids, which makes a hell of a difference.
Are you saying why for women than men because of pregnancy?
No, because I see in women every once in a while. I thought I knew a gal well. We've been working out for a month, and all of a sudden, the rate skill acquisition causes me to go back and ask you again, what the fuck didn't I thought you, well, yeah, I did do some sport. I ran track where? Colorado. To what level? I won the state finals in the 100 when I was 16 years old. I mean, okay, that's what I'm seeing here today. Someone that goes from no pull-ups to climbing the rope without legs in 6 months.
Yeah.
That young lady was a tomboy. On the flip side, gals that don't have intensity, and I mean that in the physics sense, but they don't see the intensity of an effort. That's always there.
Yeah.
I don't even want to name names, but it'll always be a challenge.
Right.
Why are gymnasts so disproportionately successful in the women's ranks of CrossFit? I don't know if it's still the case.
It is. It is.
But it was. It was even ones that were too tall for gymnastics. But the thing about that is the people that outgrow that sport physically at the same skill level get more out of it than the people that stopped at that same skill level that were weight appropriate. So one of the best athletes I've ever known has been a 6 foot tall gymnast that was too big for the sport, but he could hold an iron cross for 5 seconds.
Holy shit!
And a 6 foot tall, 190 pound man that can hold an iron cross for 5 seconds is a fucking beast of another sort. And so Joe Boucher from 30 years ago. Hey, I had in the gym yesterday a gentleman who was a Air Force Academy gymnastics coach become rigger for SOCOM and Cirque du Soleil. And
Wow.
He was the head rigger for Disney's, I don't know, ferry flight thing, whatever they were doing in Orlando. And we knew all the same people. He's roughly of my age. But it was interesting that one of my teammates at Chatsworth High, because I mentioned Chatsworth High, he's like, Steve Martin. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I know Steve Martin well. Funny thing. But look at where his career took him. And I got to tell him yesterday, it's something I'm kind of proud of. I was almost a good gymnast, far from great, but I knew everybody and I knew the great ones. And I think I got more from the sport than anybody. I've never known another gymnast to take from gymnastics what I took from it. And you can include Bart and Nadia in Norman, Oklahoma, two of the greatest gymnasts ever walked the earth and have children in a remarkable program. I took more from the sport than they did.
I think the two best things, if you want your kid to be the best at CrossFit, the two biggest components I've seen, the combination that I've seen that's made the best CrossFitters is gymnastics and cross country running. The ones who were either, one of them was like their main and the other one was their kind of their backup. But it seems those two things have really, it seems like I keep hearing or seeing those things. Like they have some, they can run the 5, 10K, no problem fast. And they have insane strength and body awareness. I don't know of a gymnast that hasn't run a marathon, surprised everyone with the time and wish they had. Wow. Oh yeah.
Like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Your first one? Yep, that's what I got. Your first one ever? Yep, that's what I got. I'm not going to do that again. It's kind of interesting. And it's the orthopedic part. It's not the what it took out of them. It's what it did to their feet, ankles, knees. It's just there's a boot fit, right? You know that, like in rucking. Yep. You want to get in CrossFit shape and then get your feet hardened up, then go.
Yeah. What's more impressive, a man lasting 2 minutes in bed or a 1 minute iron cross? Great question. Is there a record for the iron cross?
I don't know.
Pete Hegseth and RFK, I was wondering how you were going to take that I was wondering if you were going to be like, well, that's good. At least it just got it into the, into the social milieu. It is interesting. I was just Googled it and look at what people say. The New York Times is saying it's dangerous. The National Review says you'll be fine. What were your thoughts on it? There's 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups for time.
It may be that vibration being called a push-up has some rhabdo-sparing quality to it.
That little 2-inch range of motion thing.
Yeah, that might be but it makes challenge an impossible thing to intelligently attach to that concept, because I have no method of quantifying. I'm not going to watch someone shake and count. I mean, you couldn't. I got the presidential fitness test, I think in 67, 68. When did that start? The little patch that I got that you put on your gym shorts.
Yeah.
Stars every year. That would not count. That would not count.
Do you think they even thought of that? That like, hey man, these are really pathetic.
No, I don't think so. I think they're working out that way. And so, you're in this horrible position where all workout's better than none. But I know this. I know that Pete has been in environments where that would not wash.
So he let his
ego.
I
mean, if that's what's allowed, why don't you take the world record in that shit, Sevi?
Right.
You hang from the bar and shake, and then get on the ground and flop, and I'll count. And every time you change directions, I'll add a digit. You'll be the world record holder at the Pete and Bobby Challenge. It's like the cane sugar thing. You're just like, oh, fuck, you're fucking kidding me. This is the side I'm on.
Yeah. When I saw the time cap was 10 minutes, I originally thought, oh, there's no way either of them did that in 10 minutes.
There's no that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
No two people did the same workout.
Yeah. Is any part of you like, well, no, it's good at least that they got in there and they showed that they're moving and working out and that they're
That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. But here's the problem. How many people have been to a level 1? 250,000, 300,000?
Yeah.
They will have to watch that shit through their fucking fingers. How many people belong to CrossFit gyms? 1 million?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's look at the firestorm of people that didn't like to see girls learning the clean and jerk and snatch with PVC. And there were legions. It was dangerous. You shouldn't teach those things. I mean, outright, we were taught you shouldn't be teaching those things to the general public. Okay. Now, how many of the million of people that can do that now? Hey, the Air Force gymnastics coach, you know what he knew me as? You know who I am?
Who?
I'm the guy that got girls to do muscle ups. That's who I am.
Yeah. You're that guy to me too.
That's what he's thought of me for 25 years. The guy that got girls doing muscle ups.
Yeah.
I'll run with that. I'd rather have that than I'd rather have my $200 million and that than the Heisman Trophy and be a crackhead somewhere.
Yeah. That's funny.
The guy that got girls to do muscle ups, they laugh. It was like, yeah, I did.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, you are that guy. I mean, that's the way I see it too.
Yeah. I'm that guy. Got girls to do muscle ups.
Being a CrossFitter, it's weird. I go to the gymnastics studio. My kid takes this gymnastics class 2 days a week, and it's a private class with 2 girls and my boys. And at the end of every class, and the best person in the class is this girl. She does like 10 hours a week. So they spend a lot of time doing, back handsprings and shit like that and floor routines. But it's a 90-minute session. The last 20 minutes, they head on over to the rings and the parallel bars. And she's like, okay, we're going to do the boys stuff. And it's so weird for me to hear her say that. Because, where I come from, had no knowledge about gymnastics, but where I come from, everyone does the rings.
It's funny, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's also funny. My boys have started making fun of the girls for the dance stuff that they do on the floor. Like they've already picked up, like, hey, there's no training there.
It's the male gymnasts have a name for it that we can't use anymore. But it's always been a fun thing to impersonate the women. And I've seen guys do things on the beam and on evens that are, you know, I mean, guys, high bar guys can come up with band elements all day long for, hey, try this. They won't let you do it twice, you know? The training of women in gymnastics is unprecedented. I won't criticize it. But when the girls get to watch the guys and I've met girls locally here competing nationally that only recently saw their male counterparts in workouts. There's a you know, like at UCLA, the men and women didn't even work out in the same facility.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
It's common. It's typical. They don't have in common what you'd think in terms of association. And I think that's a detriment to everyone.
I agree. When you hear the best women in the world who do CrossFit, who train with men, their goal is to beat the men.
They do.
Yeah.
The best women should beat almost all men.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to move those bell curves over to significant overlap. And the opportunity is easier to do that because men will accidentally, by say doing Notre Dame weight room training, come closer to their optimal than in terms of strength and conditioning. They're more likely to find it by accident than you would say in field hockey or soccer. Westerland's story of D1 soccer players, they've all had ACL tears and nobody can squat. He's probably going to come on here and hate me for this. But I remember everyone, he goes, I've never seen anyone on the training table, female collegiate D1 soccer player, that didn't have the ACL repair scar. Never saw one on the training table. And he never saw anybody that could squat below parallel. And you don't have to, you know, whether you're talking to Romanov or Louis Simmons, rest in peace, you don't get an argument on that. You wouldn't from me. Hey, you know, it was so weird that when we could get Ripito in a ego-free moment and bring Louis Simmons around and Romanov and I and sit around and talk. We had an amazing amount of similarity in our approach to things. Also in our sense of a first workout. While going in different directions and kind of having different backgrounds, certainly having different backgrounds. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
That group, you know, to have Romanov and Rip and Louis, that was an unprecedented depth of training know-how. Bergner, sorry, leave that out.
Let me ask you this, Greg, about the ACLL and not squatting. Is that because I want to say that I remember Joe saying something about it because if you don't squat below parallel, you don't work on ankle flexion.
Yeah, you need a model of the knee to see it, but when you see it, you see it. It's kind of cool, and you want everything to do what it's designed to do, and it doesn't until you get below parallel. It's a very mechanical kind of thing, not complicated, but it's something I don't want to do without a knee here. And I've seen it done over and over and over again. But these people that don't go parallel, so I'm like, okay, sit the fuck on the ground. Now you get up and show me how you're going to do this without. And what they'll do is there's a good portion of everyone getting off your ass where you pick a leg that goes super acute, and part of it has a one leg. It's got a pistol quality until you can sneak the other leg underneath. You can't get up off the fucking ground without going below parallel. There is an approach. You crawl stiff-bodied to a wall, and then if you're strong enough, you can use your arms to come up. You don't even have to bend your hips.
Let me just ask you this. I know you say you don't want to do it without a knee, but is it mobility or is it musculature that's lacking around the knee that's developed through squatting below parallel?
Yeah. There's some tendon, ligament, and muscle that's got to come from around the corner.
From the top?
Get Joey on here.
Okay.
This is one of his. He's my guy. You know, I like hearing him talk about it more than anyone. And I know he's right. I've always known he's right. But I can know it from what I'm telling you about getting off the floor.
Mm.
I don't want my patient squatting. Are they allowed to shit or they stand up and do that and then hose off the shower? What's your strategy here? Don't like deadlifting, really. So something hits the floor, it's gone. You get one of those pinchy things. These are movements you're not alive if you don't do them. The question is, are you going to train them or not? And do you do them right or not? And yeah, you know what? You can bend over and tie your shoes wrong your whole fucking life. A lot of people do, including up to the knot.
Hey, would you have rather Hegseth and RFK didn't do the challenge at all? They weren't going to do it, right?
I'm sorry.
If those were if your options were they didn't do the challenge, they did the challenge wrong and pathetic with the shaking, or not do it at all.
I don't know. You tell me what it does for your effort when the overwhelming majority of people that are serious about, and you know, I got a pretty high standard for serious about working out, know what's wrong with that. What do you think? What do you think if I get someone that doesn't play the violin to give the nation their first violin lesson?
Right.
Is that going to upset violinists? Every single fucking one of them.
Yeah.
There's no one that owns a CrossFit gym that isn't, oh geez, I like these guys. There's not one. And like, what's the cost of that? The cane sugar stupidity. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. The opportunity where these guys sit is so enormous. It'd be like Tyson Bagent becoming a fucking postal carrier.
So complete missed opportunity, more of a presentation of ego than of healthy lifestyle.
It's an easy target for critics.
Mm-hmm.
You're training for pathology in that capacity in a narrow range of motion within a 5-degree space is de facto evidence of a neuromuscular pathology. And so we're training for that. Okay. Making it unquantifiable. Okay. And why? Why? Just because you didn't know.
Would Greg recommend wrestlers doing CrossFit? Also, has he heard of Sam Calavita? He's trained popular fighters such as TJ Dillashaw, Hamzat, Aaron Pico, Roman Bravo Young.
Who came in, never done CrossFit before, and got a 5-minute Fran? Had to be taught really what a thruster was about. Josh Thompson. Captain at Purdue Wrestling and UFC superstar.
Oh,
J-Ped.
Was it Josh Thompson or Jason McDonald?
It was Josh Thompson.
Okay, I didn't know he was in the UFC.
Yeah, he fought BJ. He got a draw, I believe, right? Look that up. It's your sport.
That was before my day.
Josh Thompson also went to school in Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, it says Josh Thompson never fought BJ Penn.
Is that right? Who do I have then? Who am I thinking? Who got draws with BJ?
It was a draw. The fight was this.
I might be conflating some things.
But anyway, it was a fighter. He had two
John
fights.
Fitch, excuse me. John Fitch.
Okay. Did BJ bring him in?
You know, at the point that Hackelman was coming around and hitting up, what's his name with CrossFit? What's the guy's name?
Over to Shara.
No, before that.
Oh, the big famous guy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Not Tito Ortiz. Chuck Liddell.
When Liddell started CrossFitting and was CrossFitting through a winning streak, he was winning before and he won after. But Chuck was very complimentary of CrossFit and of me, and pretty effusive in his praises. And Hackelman was a good, everyone knew. So very, very early, when the UFC was a fraction of what it is now, all the fighters had been exposed. And what that created is most of them CrossFitting. But the number of times that we've had CrossFitters that we were close to, both guys on a card where you can't even watch. And it was PJ Penn got a draw was against Fitch.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep. I saw that.
Yeah. And both ended up mad at me because I was cool with it. Because it hit them both as a loss.
Right.
No, wrestlers in CrossFit is when they don't know what they're doing, it looks more like CrossFit than when football players don't know what they're doing. Do you know that football players would look at Fran and go, I 95 pounds, okay, I think I need 225.
I will say this,
over again.
Yeah.
And you tell them you're not going to do it with 225. Yeah, I am. No, you think you are. You're going to start, but you're not going to be able to do the work.
There was a collegiate football player. I'm forgetting his name, but I filmed with him once, and he said, and I asked him to do Grace, and he said no problem. And I remember he ripped off the first 10 like it was nothing, and then at 15 he tapped. He's like, I can't do this. He was just on the ground.
My favorite thing to do with police academies was take that kid with the 5-minute mile and the 300-pound bench press and give him 185 and 400s. 5 rounds.
And what would he do with the 185 cleans?
Like a bench press. Big bencher, big runner.
Yeah.
That's the bird clock. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, kind of like someone was dragging furniture across the floor. Yeah, it's a no-brainer to do CrossFit and fighting. My kids do CrossFit every night, some form of it. And we just went to a tournament, and the coach said that he called me yesterday, and he's like, wow. He's like, I never saw your kids tired once. And in one of the fights, there was no one else in the kids division. So Ari had to fight a kid, back to back. And it was like just nothing for him. And the other kid looked just completely disheveled.
Colleen's going to get a brown belt here.
That's crazy.
19-year-old girl with a brown belt.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a special thing.
Yeah, congratulations. That is nuts.
So she's committed to her art,
Greg, this morning I watched a video on you're in Arizona, by the way. I was just
yeah. I came down here for a meeting on the house and some real estate project development and just a handful of things.
Oh, okay.
I met the Air Force coach here yesterday.
Okay. Hey, was he a gymnast? Was he a gymnast?
Yeah, he was at Jackson State in Alabama, one of those somewhere. But he went to school with one of my teammates. Steve Martin from Chatsworth High.
At the Air Force Academy?
No. And in a small college that was a gymnastics powerhouse. and he ended up at the Air Force Academy as a gymnastics coach. That's a good position, by the way. The military academies have run nice gymnastics programs. Like I just always, you say Air Force gymnastics, I think pommel horse. Like they've had some talent, super talents. Hey, everyone learns, something about the top 1 or 2 guys in men's gymnastics. There's 1,000 of them, and they're all remarkable. And compared to the general public, they're all the same. Just a whole different level of human being.
Wall Street
Did you
weightlifter.
send me that ring routine the other day? The kid that it might have been a 10. I don't know.
Yes, I did. The Japanese guy or the Asian? Was the Asian guy?
I think it's the kid from the Philippines, isn't it?
Oh, Philippines. Yeah. Graciano says it's actually a 3. You're supposed to do Fran with 315.
Yeah. It's hilarious. The meanest thing you can do is give encouragement, including the strip down. And like if you want to kill a guy, you let him start at 315, and as he slows, make it 3, and as he slows, make it 185, and as he slows.
The 2000
in the Gold's Gym world, that's what you do to someone that came through that you hated. You speak so positively and so upbeat and so encouraging, and you give them strip sets. So the only thing that's important is that they keep moving. It's kind of the waterboarding of working out. You know what I mean? I would say if you were a trainer in my gym, I'd stop that shit. For God's sakes, let him get the fuck out of breath and sit down and realize that he's got a problem at that weight and that pace. Think of the people that where Fran was a huge development in their strength. Funny as that is to people.
Yeah.
If you got a 2-minute Fran, you're like, really? Yeah, really. Yeah, really. The outsiders don't realize that a 2-minute Fran is suggestive of being able to do a 225-pound thruster easily.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them, but one, right?
Yeah.
It's 90 pounds, 95 pounds seeming light makes 225 possible.
Mm-hmm. Ken Walters, I had a 300-pound bench press and a 712 mile at 57. Now, since I've been doing 75% endurance training and only 25% strength, last 3 months, bench has dropped to 275 and mile not even close to 712. Damn high rocks. Oh, you were prepping for a high rocks. Interesting. I saw a video this morning about the rise and fall of Peloton.
You chopped up there for me at least. What? Say that again.
I saw a video this morning, 12-minute video on the rise and fall of Peloton. Did you watch any of that? Did you see what happened to them?
I watched it happen.
Yeah. It said at 2020, they were a $50 billion company. Since then, they've lost 97% of their value. At the peak of COVID, they had 1.1 million subscribers. And they were like 8 weeks behind on delivery of bikes and treadmills. And so they bought a $400 million factory, and they invested another $400 million in building their own factory. And then a couple of things that happened, I guess a kid died on a Peloton treadmill and 125,000 were recalled. And then they started drowning in inventory, and they had 120,000 unsold bikes sitting in the factory. 2023, the factory shut down, and today the valuation's at $3 billion. And I think their CEO is an ex Netflix and Spotify executive. But it was tripping me out because I was thinking of all the companies that probably went through that during COVID, ones that like had products that people wanted. I think I remember, I forget his name, but the guy who owned Assault Bike, Roger. Yeah, he was telling me that, I think he was telling me that sales like were insane. I want to say like $11 million a month or something in bikes during COVID. And now Peloton's just completely fucked. I mean, still $3 billion is not a small company. But can you imagine that Is that just poor management, or they had to do that?
Yeah, it wasn't a small group of people that were, each of those moments you kind of mentioned. It wasn't a small group of people that have been following this and going, no, 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 all along. I was looking here trying to find, but how's Soul Cycle doing? What's the latest there?
I don't know, but they also said that when Soul Cycle and there's another company that came on, they were selling their bikes for 1/3 the price or something.
Is that magic mirror thing still going on?
I don't know. I can't imagine that ever taking off. But I guess the talk around Soul Cycle around 2020 was that Soul Cycle was going to be like the iPhone. Everyone was going to have one. That's kind of where they were at.
Yeah, where's that now?
No, sorry, not Soul Cycle. Peloton. Soul Cycle. I'll type in. I don't see any. I'll type in Soul Cycle. Is it a public company?
Yeah, I think maybe it is.
New York Attorney General Letitia James announces $600,000 settlement involving the Equinox Group over Soul Cycle cancellations. 2015, they went public. I don't know. I don't see any of their boutiques. The only place I know where there's one is here 2022 indoor cycling studio closing 25% of its locations, laying off 75 employees. Soul Cycle will shutter around 20 of its 83 studios, 6 in New York City. So yeah, so they had a fall as soon as COVID was over too. Is Soul Cycle, do they take those? Do people do that at home also? Soul Cycle, or is that only a studio?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, and the Peloton stock is down 97%. I mean, that's crazy. That means people lost their fucking shirts.
That's what's going on?
That Peloton lost 97%. Yeah.
I think we have one in the garage, don't I?
A Peloton?
Yeah.
I've seen one at one of your houses. I can't remember. Did you ever see anyone on it? Does Maggie use it?
Yeah, it's got all kinds of shit on it. It holds jump ropes and stuff and clothes.
No, I mean,
I probably don't know where it is because of all the shit that's on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you ever see anyone ride it? Does Maggie use it?
Hey, they say people do, they never do for long. I mean, I go back to, I'm 69 years old. I've seen 50 different things that are huge and going to be forever, and I can't even remember them all.
The Dana White story in Peloton was pretty crazy. Do you remember hearing that story?
Oh, did he say something nasty?
He was on a podcast with Theo Vaughn. And I can't remember, but Peloton pulled an advertisement from comedian Theo Vaughn's podcast due to the inclusion of an interview with RFK. Peloton reportedly demanded that Vaughn remove the episode featuring RFK from his platform, or else they were. And so he told that story to Dana live on a podcast. And Dana goes, "Fine, I'm taking all the fucking Pelotons out of all my gyms. Fuck those guys. We don't play that game." And just because someone told him it on a podcast, and he pulled out all their bikes.
Yeah, you know what?
He called Peloton pompous.
Yeah, I don't see an overlap in the.
You don't see the UFC crowd being the type of people who buy Pelotons.
I know they're not.
Right.
It's like Donald Trump's not going to kill Prius sales.
Right.
That ain't going to happen.
Right.
He's not going to chase away Taylor Swift fans.
Right.
And Dana White, the Peloton's problem was its users.
What do you mean by that? They were quick fix people? It's just like what's new kind of crowd?
It's the Prius crowd.
Mm.
And that's not the UFC crowd.
Right.
Hey, Cracker Barrel's bringing the old timer back.
Oh yeah, have you ever been to a Cracker Barrel?
Yeah.
Well, someone was saying that they were hurting. I can't. I don't. I've never been to a Cracker Barrel with you. Have I?
No, they were doing great until they weren't because of the change of the logo. They got rid of the old timer.
Oh,
And that somehow was dog whistling for wokeness. And that hurt. The Peloton crowd isn't eating at Cracker Barrel. People aren't pulling up to Cracker Barrel in Priuses.
it's not that place.
It's not that place.
Cracker Barrel's chief executive under mounting pressure from conservative influencers to resign after the restaurant chain abruptly scrapped its new logo following a wave of backlash. The logo introduced earlier this month stripped the design down to the company's name, dropping the image of an older man in overalls besides a barrel and the words Old Country Store. Oh, boy.
Trump tweeted, told him you got to bring the old man back and just try and, you'll be, but it was cute. It was funny. It worked. They did it. I thought their release was good too. It didn't feel retreaty or it was interesting.
Oh, speaking of which, are you following the story with what's her name, Lisa Cook or Julie Cook, the chick on the Fed board?
On the what board?
This chick, she's on the Fed board.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it?
And Schiff, Adam Schiff.
Yeah, is his shit gonna go down too? His shit, I feel like, kind of went silent.
Committed mortgage fraud. Plain as day. Can't deny it. He won't be able to find an attorney worth a fuck that isn't gonna do. His best bet now is just to like suffer the judgment of his obvious hypocrisy and try and take some equal protection thing that makes it nothing like the other people caught doing this. No one, you know what I mean? He lied about a primary residence. And that's an impossible thing to bullshit.
Yeah, and she did that too. She had 2 primary residences, right?
By the way, you know me, it's something I wouldn't do, couldn't be talked into doing, and wouldn't employ accountancy that would allow it or suggest it or know that how anything other than stupid it is. And I can't tell you how many friends I have that people, we have good friends that claim residence in states where they don't live and set up little shell businesses. And that'll work every time until it doesn't work. And it doesn't work all the time with people.
Right.
And when push comes to shove, you have to just fess up, I'm not there, because it'll be shown. State of California came after me, and I had to show veterinary records, dental bills, gas station receipts, ATM cards, utility bills, children's grades, comments by teachers, junk mail. I had to produce a trove of evidence. It was a multi-million-dollar effort. And check this out. Listen to what I'm saying. And that was just to get a good law firm. And we got a good law firm, and we went to it, and I go, oh yeah, that's right. He wasn't living here. It's all good. You're good. And they even let me know they wouldn't fuck with me again for this. Now, why was I able to do that? Because I wasn't in California. You were with me. I fucking left.
Right.
Per the law.
And you even had that little phone thing that you put on yourself that tracked.
I put my own ankle bracelet on my ass.
Right.
And was able to prove to the world that I wasn't there. State of California wanted $40 million, and they were the worst fucking business partner you could ever imagine. And I saw what was coming, and so I legally took the fuck off. Fuck you. And they tried to get it back from me. And they failed. And why? Because you know what I did? I had honesty on my side.
Right, the truth.
I don't lie on my tax return. I pay my fair share, and it's a fucking shit ton of money. And you do it. My accountant has never been audited. 30-something years of an accountant has never been audited. I go, why is that, Matt? He goes, "Why no bullshit? You fucking do the thing you're supposed to do." It's the complicated part is the oh, I wonder if this will work, right? That shit gets complicated. Getting caught is complicated. Thinking once you're caught that you're going to be able to use law to make it look like you lived somewhere you didn't.
Everyone I know who has a successful business in California is in some sort of issue with the IRS. Like the IRS is always sniffing around, always like basically running their racket on them.
Yeah, the state's broke, and they're going to start hurting innocent people. They're deep into that.
Well, it looks like she's claimed that she had 2 primary residences in order to get lower interest rates and get better loans. And a stat I heard yesterday was that 75% of the foreclosures on homes during the big foreclosure in, I don't know, 2008 or 9, or was it 11? I can't remember. But 75% of those people who were foreclosed on did this exact same mortgage fraud. That there's a correlate there between that kind of line and defaulting on your loans. Which makes sense because you're overextended, and you wouldn't lie.
No. You're willing to perjure yourself to save a few dollars. You when you sign that form, you say under penalty of perjury. So you put your big fat John Hancock onto a big fucking lie, and what am I supposed to do as it comes home to roost? Oops, you know what? What the fuck? You fucking lied.
Willfully telling an untruth in court after taking an oath of affirmation, perjury. Do they go to jail? Could she go to jail for that? You go to jail for that?
I don't know what's on the books, but you'll end up with some equal protection argument that you can't. If you Trump can get these. It wouldn't surprise me if 2/3 of the people that tried to get him on this aren't doing it themselves.
Right.
And so I don't see this as revenge. It's like, wow, we're going to apply the law in all directions now. I don't have a problem with it.
Well, clearly he's also putting by the way, you have to assume she was a DEI hire. She's the first black woman ever to be put on the Fed, and it was during
who else other than me thinks it's wrong to lie about where you live to reap financial benefit for it? In bank in loan disclosure forms. Do you think it's wrong, Seth?
Yeah, it's absolutely fucking wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's worthy of jail time, but I'm not going to sit here and go, no, that's okay. We don't have the rule of law if people won't give oath to things and think, you know what, I'm not going to sign that. Why? Because it's not true.
And it's her job to make sure shit like that doesn't happen. She sits on the board for the Fed.
Yeah. She had all the qualifications.
But it seems like a great time for this to happen since Trump is having such issues with Jerome Powell, right? He wants him to lower interest rates. And it's kind of like a fuck you to his team. It's like, hey, you're not going to do what I want you to do, so I'm coming after your lady. That doesn't make it. I'm not saying it makes it wrong. It's wild. It's wild that it's a DEI hire too.
Yeah, I think it's funny that Letitia is going to be prosecuted for the things she prosecuted Trump for.
Yeah, it's awesome.
How could you not suspect this outcome?
This is Adam Schiff. He lied about it for 10 years, claimed 2 primary residences.
He's gonna cop a plea, and all us who have had good reason not to trust him or like him, including being romantically involved with a Chinese spy.
Wait, Schiff 2 got. I thought that was Swalwell.
Oh, is it? Oh, do I have him? I have him mixed up. Yes,
But they're buddies. But they're buddies. They're buddies.
the same guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Swalwell's a joke. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I got those conflated. I can't name the different dinosaurs. I know a few T-Rex, Brontosaurus, but they're all just fucking dinosaurs. The liberals are that way for me.
You have an incredible dinosaur collection. How could you not know the
I
dinosaurs?
do. I don't know everyone's name.
You believe in the dinosaurs? You think they're real? They were real?
Yeah. I found pieces. I didn't find it. I've got family that found pieces and had them. My grandpa and an uncle found the spine of a brontosaurus and dug it up and put it under a shed and showed everyone, including guys from Getty Oil,
Mm-hmm.
and the bones disappeared. And my grandpa and uncle are like, it's the fucking oil guys. And so another uncle wrote a letter to Getty Oil, and someone put the bones back.
Oh, no shit.
Oh yeah, I sent a letter to Getty's CEO.
Is that still in your family, those bones?
I would assume so. I saw him, not too long ago. But it's a vertebral vertebra about this big, and it looks just like a vertebra of rock, fossilized.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow.
Cool as fuck.
Throw that shit on eBay.
But I thought it was pretty cool that the CEO could get the. I think y'all's geologists stole my dinosaur bones, and they got put back.
Love the Triceratops. Yeah, I think as a kid that was my favorite one too.
It's a big one. It's the one I know the name of.
Yeah, he had the cool shield on the head. He there's a lizard that you have in Arizona that kind of looks like a Triceratops. The fuck is that lizard? He's a fat one. He looks like a bearded dragon, like your bearded dragon kind of. The bearded dragon has that head of the Triceratops.
Sevi, I gotta run.
All right. Good to have you on.
Thanks
for the chill morning. Thanks for the Tyson Beijing talk.
And again, I'm gonna say all exercise is better than none. If I had a choice of people exercising I say that the biggest risk to functional movement is not doing it wrong. But that being said, there's an opportunity cost to get the best people on board. Let me end with this. Were I an outsider, I would recognize that any challenge that didn't excite CrossFitters, that they had fundamental objections to, would be a big mistake.
Just because you're speaking, because that would galvanize the base.
I wouldn't want to invent something that Elon Musk thought was stupid and had no use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they said, like, how does that advance your cause? Who are the most knowledgeable people in the world on exercise? You think they're at the university? That's complete and utter horseshit. They're affiliates.
Mm.
Those are the best minds on exercise on earth.
Yep.
And how do they get that? By application of a stimulus that approximates optimization much more so than any other. And why are they able to do that? Well, because they have a definition of fitness that's amenable to accurate and precise estimation. It makes development possible. They have a definition of fitness that's amenable to accurate and precise estimation. That's a prerequisite for developing performance as a technology. You couldn't build Porsches without that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is when engineers look at what I've done, they don't get it. They can't believe that it wasn't that's not how everyone would do it. It was the lowest hanging fruit imaginable. I'm the guy that brought physics to physiology. I had the discussion yesterday about the oddness of vectorizing the
Overhead squat.
overhead squat.
Yeah.
My gymnastics coach has done similar things with shear and load, and he's the rigging guy. We had it. Someone suggested a drop-down platform for the rings and stuff, and I look at it and like, let me tell you something. There's no fucking way you're going to stabilize this thing. There's no fucking way.
What's the drop down platform? Something someone can stand on up there?
No, it was to shorten the angle of the line of attachment.
Oh,
And in the first group that came in and looked, they were all ninja kind of Ninja Warrior TV kind of shit, right? Remind me of Grid League and stuff. But anyways, they had a structure drawn, and I was like, I don't believe that would be stable.
explain that to me. I don't understand. What's the issue with the rings?
Well,
How
my
they're gonna
ceiling's 35 feet high.
and so they don't want 30-foot straps.
That's
don't.
right. You want to
Okay.
bring everything down.
Okay.
And so the ninja people had this all attached to a platform that was
Oh, I see.
a steel structure that could raise and lower, but come down lower for use.
Okay.
And I'm looking at it and like I but look,
And you're
If
saying
you
it would move once someone got on the ring. There's no way.
look at what it takes to, and I would, you could lift my building up by the pull-up bars, and that's by design. If you could find something strong enough and attach it to those bars and pull, you'd lift the building off the ground. And we built this thing. We engineered it with a capacity that far exceeds any amount of people you could hang from the inside. Okay. And if you look at what it takes to secure a horizontal bar or a ring stand or uneven parallel bars, you should see that you need more weights to set up uneven parallel bars in the lobby of a hotel to run a women's gymnastics meet than you would ever need for any kind of collegiate weightlifting program. And they do. They use a 45, 50-pound plates, steel plates, hundreds of them, thousands of pounds of sandbag. It's stabilization. So that's a hard thing to do. It doesn't come easy. So anyways, this guy looks at me and goes, no, we're going to go right to the ceiling. I'm like, yeah, of course we are. With spectral reinforcement and, everything double.
Are they gonna be able to retract?
No, we're going to do the thing that's been done in every high school in the fucking country for 100 years. And that is you do a little rope and tackle thing. You grab the ropes and the rings and you hoist them up and put it to a cleat to the wall and it's out of the way.
Okay.
High school kids have never had a basketball, like my whole life. No one had ever been to a basketball game or a volleyball game indoors that where the rings and the ropes weren't overhead.
But so then when you get on the rings, the straps still will be 30 feet long?
Yeah. I'm gonna have long strapped rings.
Long straps, yeah.
Which ring men don't like that at all, but you do fine. Chatsworth, I didn't have short rings.
Does it make you a better ring man?
It's a disadvantage without a doubt. Long rings.
Because they start swinging?
I'm sorry?
Because of the swinging?
Yeah, it's a different pendulum moment. The athlete on the rings is a double pendulum. You're a pendulum and you're attached to a pendulum.
Mm.
And the dynamics of it are very, very different in feel. But you make do. I mean, you make it work.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with short rings. I liked them. I preferred it. I wish my high school had them, but it wasn't worth changing high school over. So, and I'm not trying to make ring men.
Right.
But I do want to use the rings for traveling rings, and no one's done this with gymnastics rings before. And there's all the traveling rings have been heavy chain and steel rings.
Uh-huh.
And you get a lot out of the one you leave behind, giving it a toss.
Yeah.
So when you're coming back, it's still moving.
Yeah.
And then I think I'll lose some of that, but I don't know. We're gonna do it anyways because I don't want to hang steel rings and chain, but I do like the traveling thing.
Is your gym? How close is your gym to being done?
It's 90%. We got a certificate of occupancy for the whole school building.
Oh,
So
that's
the kiln's in, the piano's sitting there all wrapped up, the music room's just about done, the equipment's coming, drum kit, Stratocaster, Telecaster, Gibson Les Paul, all this shit. It's pretty cool.
Hey,
Full recording studio.
And what's it say on the floor here? Incipitamus
Veritate.
Yeah, something truth.
Wait, two words, and the English translation puts you in 6 words. It's all there. Let us start with the truth.
And pronounce it for
that
me.
That was the CrossFit Health motto. And I was like, I don't think we're going to fix anything, but I tell you what, nothing's going to fix if we're not honest about things. That was on the subject of chronic disease.
Are those steel plates? Are those steel letters, or is that engraved?
No, it's brass.
Brass
Inlaid in the wood. Show it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I don't know if I can. Yeah, it's stupid. It's crazy. And that's the classroom.
That's the classroom on the gym. The classroom of the schoolroom, with a 10-foot chalkboard and giant TV, fireplace, lounge table, kitchen.
God, that ceiling's beautiful too.
It's so fucking nice.
That's the kids' classroom.
It's the nicest classroom I've ever seen anywhere.
Well, congratulations. That's a TV that's all covered up on the wall back there?
Yeah. And it's big. That's 85-inch.
Damn.
Give you some sense of scale there.
Wow.
Well, someone said the fireplaces were walk-in fireplaces. I have some of them that are 6 foot tall. I think we have 7 or 8 fireplaces on the property. I'm gonna do like Wednesday AM free workouts if you come on a bike.
Oh, that's awesome. At the house.
Something ugly that my neighbors hate.
They won't even notice. That place.
They'll be in there. They'll be in there too. I'll be able to get my.
And your property could swallow 100 people, and your neighbors won't even know.
Yeah, I've got crazy good neighbors. This is really a nice neighborhood.
Especially since you're one of the neighbors.
My neighbor in front, Sam, he's also my neighbor in Coeur d'Alene by accident, right?
Yeah.
He was gonna move, and I think we just all like each other so much he can't do it. So he's doing a crazy remodel to stay put.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're out. The neighborhood's close. Everyone likes each other. It's pretty cool. It's a handy thing to have with homes so close, right?
Yeah, totally. And it's a great neighborhood. You got horseback riding, you got biking, you got hiking, you got safety. Yeah, your neighborhood's it's the greatest neighborhood ever. It's amazing.
As someone told me, it was the nicest neighborhood in Arizona, and I found that quite a wild claim. And I don't know what a neighborhood would have to be better than this one.
Yep.
And for those of you listening, it's the Arcadia neighborhood. It runs astride a little tiny bit of Scottsdale in a swath of Phoenix, north central Phoenix, and it's cool. I mean, I have streets that only see local traffic, where the kids can play out in the street on bikes or baseball or whatever, and we're third of a mile off of 6 lanes of crazy traffic, and none of it comes out this way.
I know, it's wild.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that possible. Someone thought this out in a way that things weren't thought out in Santa Cruz, Santa Barbara, LA, San Diego.
Right. No one's using your street as a shortcut.
We don't have traffic.
Yeah.
5th largest city in the US without traffic. Santa Cruz is the 400th largest city and it suffers gridlock.
Oh, it's insane. Even with the
Manhattan, it's hilarious.
They just opened an extra lane and it hasn't done anything.
I came to Santa Cruz in 1995 permanently, maintained a presence there ever since, but more than a presence. And the one's been being worked on the whole time and never gotten better.
Yeah, as long as I've lived here, the road's always been worked on.
Yeah. All right, I gotta go.
All right.
I'm overdue. Love everyone. And
Talk to you soon.
see you soon. I'll hit you up on the way to the gig if you're around.
Yep, I'm here. Oh, and yeah, and I want to also hear about your up in on the East Coast, how that went. So let's talk.
Yeah, I got some crazy insights from it, kind of like a changing of life direction insight.
Oh, no shit.
And there's some superstars of old school there. It was an interesting mix of Thomas Seyfried's lab staff and the U.S. Air Marshals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, almost entirely. And I was really impressed with how similar the Air Marshals were older, but no less intelligent. It was a good group of people.
All right, can't wait to hear about it.
All right, sir.
All right, talk to you later. Bye. Greg Glassman. And we're probably closer to a year and a half of Wednesdays with Greg than we are a year. I'm really impressed that we've kept this thing going. Very impressed. All right. Thank you, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. What is today? Today's Wednesday, trash day. I don't see a guest for tomorrow. I better start lining these guests up. Kill Taylor's. Oh. And I think Kill Taylor is Saturday. We missed last week. We don't do that very often. I better get working on that and find a sponsor. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.